Your whole life, you've been living in comfort. And then you still wonder and ask yourself, why don't I feel masculine? Feminism will disagree and say,
No, comfort is good.
and the Jeffries of the world would say,
No, enjoy yourself. Pleasure's good. Video games, junk food, porn, they're all good for you.
well, I'm here to tell you that that's all waffle and a way to keep men weak. And today I'll be explaining exactly why comfort is bad. And at the end, I'll be sharing two things to fix this problem. Now, before I start, you've probably been sitting in this one position for a while. So get up and do 20 push ups. This actionable step would be the stepping stone for stepping outside of your comfort zone. Your mind's gonna tell you to do it later. Or, now this guy's stupid, why listen to him? Yeah, fair enough, I am. But the point is that when you do these push ups, regardless of what your mind tells you, you'll be building the discipline to step outside of your little bubble. So you see, your comfort zone is like a balloon. The more air pressure you apply, the bigger it gets. Similarly, the more we step outside of our comfort zone by doing things that make us feel uncomfortable, the bigger our comfort zone becomes. We have to start living on the edge of our comfort zones, trying to expand it every single day. And yeah, it's going to take a lot of courage, a whole load of it, and that's why not many people do it, and only the select few choose to. The comfort zone has two levels to it, the inner and the outer zone. The first are all the things that are easy and that are placed in our mind as second nature, for example, walking or blinking. Within this inner zone is where we find instant gratification. This is choosing to indulge in things that gives us pleasure right now. Things like porn and video games and junk food and drugs. These things make us happy right now, but it makes us feel empty in the long run. Well, except junk food, of course. And the outer zone is where we find things that are challenging to us, like waking up early or going to talk to that pretty girl. Within the outer zone, we find delayed gratification. This is the exact opposite of instant gratification. Delayed gratification is choosing to say, protect the pleasure right now because you have the wisdom and discipline to know what you truly want. And you know that that's what will bring the most amount of pleasure. These are things like going to the gym because you're working hard to sculpt your dream body or studying hard to get those good grades. The reason why comfort is bad, especially for men, is because it makes us feel complacent and lazy. When we're comfortable, we understand that everything is done. There's no more work, no more problems to be solved, and no more areas to be improved. When I had athletics early in the year, my grade had to decorate the stadium. The team I was in had to build a ship and paint things, and we'd work really late at night and wake up early in the morning to set things up. Now, at the time, I couldn't wait for this to end. But when the athletics ended, I was kind of lost, like I didn't know what to do. So all I did do was be comfortable. Looking back at this experience, working super hard, it brings me joy and made me realize that a man should never stop working, no matter how young or how old he is. This doesn't mean never retire, but what it does mean is never seek comfort. Working is how we grow and how we improve on things. And if I were to use someone as an example, it would be my father. He never stops working and is always busy. Yes, he takes time to relax, but even then, he doesn't always choose the instant gratification most people would choose. Rather, he learns and is obsessed with learning and how to get better at things, living on the edge of his comfort zone. So, what keeps us in our comfort zone? Well, it's thinking we don't need to work and that we can rest. Yeah, rest is important, but it's how we rest. Technology plays a very big role in this because it's easy to use and is super stimulating. Things like social media, where you can make new friends without the awkwardness and embarrassment of being rejected, and numb your loneliness by talking to random people on the internet when you damn well know that it's not gonna cut it. It's like putting a bandage on a wound that you know is bigger, or watching TikTok and Netflix just because you're bored and don't know what to do with your life. Don't get me wrong, I've been there too, and I still fall into that trap called comfort. Now, how do we stop living a life of comfort and step outside of our comfort zone? Well, with everything in life, it's about decisions and how strong those decisions are. Because it's one thing to say you want to step outside your comfort zone and another to actually do it. It takes a lot of courage. And that's why the first thing is embracing failure. You're gonna fail. That's how things work. But failure is only failure when you don't learn. This isn't even the part that people are afraid of. It's the embarrassment behind the failure that we actually fear. One thing I've been struggling with in most of my teenage years was being social and confident. When I was in a big friend group, I didn't really have a problem with this. But as I started becoming more alone, I labeled myself as antisocial. Yeah, I know,
Get a
get a
load
load of this guy. But I realized that, damn, I'm pretty bad at socializing. Let's do something about it. And so I watched videos and read books, but nothing worked until I realized that I actually have to go out there and practice these things. Yeah, I failed miserably and I felt super embarrassed, but I felt that my bubble was getting bigger and I knew that I was improving. This is how you step outside of your comfort zone. And as a Christian, trying to spread the word of God through these videos that I make, I realized that fear, the fear of failure and the fear of being judged by others, stop us from spreading the gospel. I used to be afraid of sharing it, but when I decided to start this channel, it was kind of a breakaway to start. I do not fear spreading the word of Jesus Christ, and you can judge me and mock me, and do whatever. I believe in that what I believe, and I encourage more of you to do the same. Now, the second thing is voluntary discomfort. This is choosing to be uncomfortable. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, was a very wealthy man, yet he voluntarily wanted to be uncomfortable. He often slept on the floor, eating only bread and drinking only water. By choosing to be uncomfortable, we can firstly build resilience and a strong mind, but also courage and confidence by doing something that we didn't want to do. Most of us build these small, suffocating bubbles between us and anything unpleasant. We think that the whole point of success is to never struggle, when in reality, that's how we became successful in the first place. The journey is much more important than the destination. And if you made it this far, why don't you join this journey of self-improvement by subscribing and joining the community where you can learn how to be the best possible version of yourself. Remember to improve daily, and shalom.